Welcome. So today what I wanted to talk about is the dollars and cents of electric versus gas equipment. And in order to do this, I had to figure out first how much money do I spend in electricity to power my electric equipment. Well, lo and behold, I actually got lucky this week, and I decided to pick this week. I didn't have to do any finagling or anything. She mowed 11 lawns this week. And the last time that I used exclusively gas, well, I mowed 11 lawns for that season. So I was able to at least come up with an amount of gas that I used for that particular season. Now, in order to figure out how much money I was using for electric, I went over here. Don't mind the mess too much. But this item right here is how I did it. It's called a kilowatt meter. And you plug it into the wall and you set it to how much you pay per kilowatt hour, and it will read how many kilowatts you use. I pay about 13.5 cents per kilowatt hour. It's going to vary depending on where you are in the country. If you're in California, it's probably much higher. I think Louisiana, it's only like 6 or 7 cents, something like that. It's on average, I think in the country, it's around 12 cents. So that's actually how I figured it out. And according to the meter, doing 11 lawns between a whipper and a blower, I used 8 cents worth of fuel, I guess you can say, for the electric equipment. Now, I am going to stick to just dealing with the whipper and the blower, number one, because they're the 2 cycles, so they're really easy to finagle on how much gas that I've used in the past, because it didn't get mixed in with the mower that uses it's a 4th cycle, that kind of thing. The other reason why is because a 2-cycle really requires very little maintenance. So it was really easy to figure out costs on that. And I figured out I used about 6 gallons that season, and I used probably about 1 gallon dealing with other equipment and stuff like that, as well as the blower for half the season. So gas is actually getting a little bit of an advantage on this. And I went and I figured out all of the numbers and everything for the gas that I spent for that 6 gallons. Going at about 5 gallons, $5 per gallon, which I think is a pretty safe estimate based on what we're paying for gas right now. The problem with gas is that the prices go like this. You know, one of the benefits of electric is the prices go like this. They're very slow. They will go up, but they're very slow. They stay pretty steady. And the reason why is because of all the antitrust laws and everything else that come on with the electricity. It usually takes government approval in order to get electricity to go up in price, and they have to warrant every single increase that they make. That being said, electricity is pretty well stagnant for the most part. It will go up, but there's a lot of governmental red tape to bring it up. So it's pretty level. You can pretty much bank on it for a season. And if it does go up, it's not going to go up very significantly. So that's one of the pluses of using electric versus gas, is that you can always tell your fuel costs from year to year pretty easily. Now, another benefit that gas has in these rubrics is I'm going off of an entire season with gas. I'm going off of 1 week with electric. I balanced it out, figured out it's about a 34-week mow season. So what I'm looking at is basically multiplying this week times 34. That is saying that I use this equipment every single week during the season. Now, even when I did gas, we had a dry spell, and throughout August, I was doing maybe every other week. So it wasn't like it was a constant weekly mowing for 34 weeks. So therefore, gas still comes up with another advantage. Now, I'm pricing gas at about $5 a gallon. Right now, my gas prices are about $4.80 a gallon in my area as of August of 2022. And like I said, the gas prices go like this. I believe it's actually probably a pretty solid average for what I've paid for the season. If anything, it's probably actually an average that's low, not high. So we're going to go with it because also it's a nice round number to work with. So by the time I figured out that 6 gallons, it cost me about $1 between oil, two-cycle oil, as well as gasoline per week, as opposed to 8 cents. So there's quite a bit of savings throughout a season on that. And that's giving gas pretty much every single benefit of the doubt. So that being said, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the equipment that I was using to test on this. And we'll go walk over here and see piece number 1 over here. These are Ryobi 40-volt weed whips. I know they're not professional. I know that's probably not what you would select. But what they're going up against, let me go grab this. That's the wrong thing, that's the attachment. Is this, the 26cc Ryobi weed whip. I picked this up, I think I mentioned this in a video, for $5 online on Facebook Marketplace. Cleaned out the carb, ran great, still runs great. Still use it every so often. So that's what I'm comparing to. They're roughly about the same kind of power too. Now, what I'm doing for blowers, the blowers are not the same kind of power, and I think you'll be really surprised on which one's more powerful. So I'm using this Ryobi blower. What is it? The Whisper series. Let's see if I can find a number on it. RY404010 VNM. Okay, that's the series. This thing's a beast of a blower. It's like 190 miles per hour. It's like over 500 CFMs. I'll get you all of the actual data on it. And that's going up against this beautiful machine right here. This Echo blower. Which one is it? This is the most common blower. This is what everybody, I think, starts with. Like, I need a blower. I got to buy one. I go to Home Depot. I run out and get the PB 2520. Sorry, I don't have all of these numbers memorized. But the PB 2520, that's a very common blower. It's, like I said, it's what pretty much everybody starts with. They need a blower. $150 at Home Depot. And you grab yourself a handheld blower. I personally like the handheld blowers. I don't really like the backpack blowers. So that's another reason why battery kind of works with me. A lot of people ask, why did I go with Ryobi? First off, the Ryobi weed whips, I got these for free. They were part of a pallet sale that my dad was on, and he didn't want them. He asked me if I wanted them. I said, sure. I got 4 of those. 3 of them worked, and I got 2 batteries out of the deal. So one of them was a 4 amp, one of them was a 2.6 amp. So when I went to go research battery-powered blowers, there were 2 contenders. The Ego, there's an Ego, I believe, that's no longer being manufactured, but you can still get a hold of it if you know how to look online and everything. That actually is a little bit more powerful than this Ryobi. Ryobi touts that this is the most powerful handheld blower that you can buy on the market right now. But the real reason why I went with it is not because of the blower, but because of the accessories that came with it. It came with the rapid charger, which I didn't have. I just had the standard chargers. And it came with two 4 amp batteries. Now I'm going to get into another video why knowing the amperage on a battery is very important. But now you're thinking, yeah, but the electric equipment, it's so much more expensive. Well, believe it or not, not really. And we're going to go down into my underground bunker, and I'll talk to you about all of that and how it's really not that much more expensive. Where the money comes in, you would have guessed it, the batteries. Okay, so we've broken down all these numbers, and I'll pop them up here on the screen. So out of 34 weeks, 11 properties, gas, dealing with the 2-cycle gas, it's $13.90. And again, I'm trying to compare today's pricing. So it's 5 gallons at $5 a gallon. So $25. And the 2-cycle, that would be the oil. So that would be $13.90
was just for the 2-cycle oil to go in the gas. So a total of $38.90. And then we divide that by 34 weeks, we get $1.14 per week. So the battery, now I only did the battery for 1 week, but it was 11 properties. So I don't need to do quite as much math to get it at 13.5 cents per kilowatt hour. It's 8 cents a week. And that's exactly what the meter told me. So if I want to find 34 weeks, we do 34 times 0.08. So it's $2.75 total as opposed to $38.90 total. That is the difference between gas and electric for basically a season, dealing with the Ryobi 40-volt system. It may vary depending on what system and what battery and how much per kilowatt hour and everything else you're paying. These are my numbers. I don't have your numbers. It all depends on where you live and how much you pay for electricity. If you're in California, there might not be any kind of savings for that, but the state's telling you can't use it anyway, so you're going to have to use electric. I can get into a lot about California, but I just won't. Because chances are I'm in Illinois and we're not far behind. They've already tried to ban gas blowers, so and that colossally failed. But so you're looking at $2.75 for a season per, as opposed to $38.90 per season. So what would you do with $36 a year? I mean, that's pretty much what it boils down to. Now keep in mind, this is strictly just 2-cycle equipment. And so you can see why the price would actually jump up, especially when you start bringing into the cost of the equipment. So let's start looking at the cost of the equipment. So right here I have the ep4's 56-volt brushless cordless battery trimmer. $199, 2.5 amp battery and charger. That's a big deal to make sure that you got the charger. Over here I have the 21.2 cc gas stroke straight shaft trimmer. Both from pretty much all these were from Home Depot. And $229 based on $199. So you're looking at a difference of the electric being about $30 cheaper. That's interesting. And that's dealing with the Echo Weed Whip. Now, when we get into the Ryobis, which is what I'm actually using, we have the Echo 40 or the Ryobi 40-volt brushless cordless battery attachment. Comes with a battery, 4 amp battery. This is basically the closest model I can find to what I'm using. I'm using an older model. My model is not brushless, and I've been having some issues, and I think that might be what the issues are. But I have to do some more investigation to see if it's that or the battery or what not. But here we are with the 40-volt brushless cordless Ryobi battery, $200. Now, if we compare that to the Ryobi gas, the 25cc 2-stroke attachment capable, full crank straight gas shaft string trimmer, $179 versus $199. Again, these aren't exactly comparables. So when dealing with the Ryobi, it looks like the gas is actually cheaper. You have $180 versus $200. So it's about $20 cheaper to buy the gas as opposed to the electric in the Ryobi. However, when you look at the differential of what you save in the electric, that difference pays for itself within the first season. Actually, before the first season is done, it will pay for itself. Now, let's look at the STIHL trimmers. So, I have the FSA 57 36-volt AK line trimmer, $200. I believe this one does come with is this tool only? I can't really tell from the screenshot I have. I believe this one does come with the battery and charger, because that's what I was particularly looking for to make sure that they did. The gas one, $219, FS56 RCE straight shaft gas trimmer, $219 to $199. So it's actually cheaper to buy the Stihl electric versus the gas Ryobi. Now I believe this was the one. This one here I could not find. I think this is Blaine's Farm and Fleet, and not Home Depot, because I couldn't find the Stihl at Home Depot. So, but that's the difference. So it's actually cheaper to get battery and Stihl up front than it is to get the gas. Whereas with Ryobi, it's cheaper to get the gas up front, but when you look at the cost of the savings cost of electricity, it makes better sense. Again, these numbers can change for you. It depends on what your gas prices are. Chances are, if you're in an area that has high electrical prices, you probably have really high gas prices too. I'm actually in a very strange place because my electrical prices are pretty average for the standard consumer. My gas prices are through the roof compared to the rest of the country. Now, let's start looking at some blowers, shall we? I actually want to save the Ryobis. I did not bring up the Stihl blowers at all, but I do have Echo. And we have the 56 volt, 151, 152 CFM cordless battery with blower in the Echo ep4 56. $200, battery and charger included. Now, this is the actual gas one that I used at the time that I did those chart ratings. The 170 mile per hour, 453. Almost everybody starts off with this one. You get it at Home Depot. It's $170. So it's actually, you will get a little bit more CFMs, which actually I prefer more CFMs to mile per hours out of a blower. Whereas this one is 453, this one's 526. However, this is 151 miles per hour. This is 170 miles per hour. So the miles per hour allows you to blow further. The CFMs allows you to blow larger masses of stuff. As far as I'm concerned, I don't really need to blow anything further. If I need something blown further, I can just walk up to it and blow it further. It's more getting bulk for me, in my opinion, than anything else. Now, here's where things get a little hazy, because this right here, sorry, brought up the wrong one there. This right here, when I put these up on the screen, they'll be proper, but as I'm looking through them and going through on my computer here, they're going to be a little, I'm jumping around here. So this one right here, the 40 volt HP brushless Whisper Series 190 mile per hour, 730 CFM cordless battery jet fan leaf blower, comes with two 4 amp batteries and charger for $299. That's $300. You get the 2 batteries, the charger, the blower. This is why I went with this blower, was the 2 batteries and charger. And that was one of the key things, because they're already in the Ryobi system. I could use the extra batteries, and I wasn't sure exactly how many batteries I was going to use anyways. That, and this thing is a beast of a blower. So I tried to find something in gas, in a handheld blower, that could compare to 190 miles per hour with 730 CFMs. The closest thing I could find was a Husqvarna backpack blower. This thing is a really beast of a blower. It's actually a really nice blower. But I had to try to compare apples to apples the best that I could. And that's also probably why this has such a high price tag. But that's one of the reasons why I went with this blower, because it came with the 2 batteries, and it's just a beast of a blower. And I like handheld blowers over backpack blowers. So this one right here, which I don't have the full picture of, but you get the information. This is a 40 volt, 110 mile per hour, 525 CFM. This is jet fan leaf blower with a 4 amp battery, $179. Comes with 1 battery. Now, this is the gas one, 160 mile per hour, 520 CFMs, 25 Cs, gas jet fan blower, $179. So it's the exact same price. 110 miles per hour in the electric, 160, 520 CFMs, 525 That's about the most comparable I could get. Obviously, it's got a little bit more CFMs in the electric. That seems to be kind of the run, but these are probably the most comparable, and they're the exact same price point. So there's zero difference between whether you get the gas or the electric on this one. It comes with the battery. It comes with the charger. Now, I will get into later to talk to you a little bit about why I picked some of the equipment that I picked, how to obtain batteries without actually having to, how do I put it, buy batteries, if that makes sense. How to economically buy batteries for these things in another video. And I just wanted to point out that, you know, this, I'm going to be honest with you. So, and there's been some snags and things like that. And what I think of some of the electric equipment, it's not exactly direct replacement right now for a lot of the gas stuff, but it's pretty darn close. As far as a Mo game, and that's what I'm pretty much referring to and talking about with this, there's plenty of great equipment out there in battery to make it happen. You can make a Mo game happen with it. It's some of the other services that come along that you may not be able to deal with the battery stuff. So, as you can see, the equipment, for the most part, it's actually less or the same to buy battery versus electric. So there's an immediate savings right there in how much you're spending on fuel based on the gas versus the electric. I mean, there is a few differences here, such as what did I point out? I think it was the blowers. And again, the blowers really, you know, like I said, the blowers don't really compare very well in the Echo end of things. But as you can see, you know, they're fairly comparable. I took 3 major brands. 2 of them I actually used some of this equipment in my landscape equipment. Said that was the gas blower I used was the Echo, so it was really hard. Even though that is the gas that I'm using and comparing to the Ryobi blower, and they're totally not compatible or comparable, I should say. Like I said, the Ryobi blower I'm using is a complete beast of a blower. It definitely has a lot more power than that Gas Echo. I really recommend, if you're gonna go, that's a handheld blower. That Ryobi is really been a sweet blower for me. So, but I just kind of wanted to get out these dollars and cents. You can make up what you want with these numbers, but these are the hard numbers to actually compare to. As you can see, typically the equipment's less or the same between gas versus electric. You very rarely find gas cheaper unless you're getting less gas. I guess you'd say less power. And as far as the fuel is concerned, well, it's a difference of $2.75 for a season for electric, or $38.90 for a season. So you're looking at a difference of $39 or $3. I mean, I would rather spend $3 than $39. So that's just, this is the first video series I'm going to be doing on this. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos on this. I'm hoping to do a whole compilation. So if you are looking to make the transition from gas to electric, or gas to battery, more so is a better terminology, that you have all the tools that I can give you at least to make an informed decision on what kind of equipment, what brand you want to go with, that kind of thing. I have my favorites. I'm not going to lie, I do have my favorites, but I don't think my favorites are necessarily the best for everybody. And I don't think my favorites are going to be the best for me, kind of looking into the future, even as I'm growing and expanding and I'm seeing some of the things that's happening with one of my favorites. So I don't get sponsored by any of these companies as of this video, at least. So, I mean, I got nothing in the game. If I do get sponsored, I'll let you know. But honestly, my opinions are my opinions, and I'm out trying to get you the information to give you an informed decision. And the main focus of this video was to actually look at the dollars and cents up front of what it's going to cost you gas versus electric. And I will tell you right now, regardless of how many battery cells or anything that you have to buy for right now, if what came with the equipment is perfectly fine, you could see that the numbers really err in the favor of the electric equipment. And I will do another video about how to obtain batteries for all of your equipment without having to deal with all the extra costs of just buying batteries alone, because batteries alone are expensive. And there's ways to get around that if you know how to navigate the system. So that's going to be the next video that I do, is we're going to talk about batteries, who has some of the better battery systems, versus we're going to talk commercial versus residential and using them in a commercial setting. And we might talk a little bit about using them in a residential setting as well. But that's what I want to focus on next with the electric equipment, is batteries, how to obtain those batteries, how to, what kind of batteries, how do they work, all of that kind of thing is with the next video in this series. I'm going to set up a playlist so anybody interested in batteries can just click on those playlists, find whatever videos they want. But the idea is to develop a series of videos so that if you are interested in making the transition into battery, you have all the information you need, and whether it's a good fit for you, whether battery is even a good fit for you, or what, and if it is, how to move forward with the progression of taking you from gas to battery into the future. So that's my whole scheme on things. As you can see from the numbers, batteries in the remedial right up front forward, as I'm looking at it right here, makes almost perfect sense. I mean, there's the difference between the two blowers on Echo. Other than that, everything makes total sense. Now, if you need a backpack blower or something like that, that's a whole different ballgame. And I'm going to get into that when we start talking about batteries. And also, we're going to talk a little bit about equipment and compare different types of equipment and what and how they work. And anybody that will tell you the weak part of battery is the blowers. That is the one kind of rough part of it. So on that note, I will see you next time, and watch out for the next battery video. If you like this video, subscribe, like, and I have more information to come. I like to deal with the numbers. I like to deal with the solid numbers. I don't like to look at other people's research if I can get the numbers myself, because my numbers are going to be good for me. So I also recommend you go out there, get your own numbers, get your own kilowatt meter. You can pick them up at Home Depot, Lowe's. They sell them there. You can get them on Amazon, all kinds of stuff. So go on ahead, get your own numbers if you like, and figure it out. But that's what I'm working with, because everybody wants to understand, well, okay, battery's supposed to save you money, but how is it supposed to do that? Here are the numbers. When you price the price of the equipment out, the equipment's cheaper up front. And like I said, I'm going to tell you how to skirt the system, I guess, and get the batteries you need. So on that note, I will see you next time.
That's going up again.